When my daughter-in-law told me to leave, I smiled instead of crying. I remember that moment very clearly. We were standing in the kitchen. The house was quiet, except for the soft ticking of the wall clock. She did not raise her voice. She did not look angry. She just looked at me and said, very calmly, "I think it's better if you don't come here anymore. We are a family now." I nodded. I even smiled a little. Inside, something broke. But on the outside, I stayed calm. I had learned long ago that crying in front of people does not always change anything. Sometimes, silence feels safer. I picked up my purse slowly. I looked around the kitchen that I once cleaned every morning. The kitchen where I cooked my son's favorite meals. The kitchen where I believed I still belonged. I walked to the door, without saying another word. As I stepped outside, the sky was gray. It looked like rain, but it had not started yet. That was the day I realized I was no longer part of my son's life. Not because he said it himself, but because he did not stop her. My name is Margaret. I am not a woman of big words or loud emotions. I have always lived a simple life. I raised one child, a son. His name is Daniel. From the day he was born, my world became smaller and clearer at the same time. Smaller because everything else faded away. Clearer because I knew exactly why I woke up every morning. His father left when Daniel was still very young. There was no shouting, no long fights. One day, his father packed a bag and said he needed space. That space turned into years. After that, it was just the two of us. I worked long hours, sometimes 2 jobs. I cleaned offices at night. I worked in a small bakery in the mornings. Daniel stayed with a neighbor after school until I came home.
I always felt guilty about that.
Every night, no matter how tired I was, I sat on the edge of his bed. I asked about his day. I listened. Sometimes he talked a lot. Sometimes he just shrugged. But I was there. When Daniel grew older, he became quiet, thoughtful.
He was kind.
He held doors open.
He thanked people.
I was proud of him, even when I did not say it out loud. When he went to college, the house felt too quiet. I left his bedroom door open for months. I never told him that. Daniel met Claire during his last year of college. He told me about her during a phone call.
"She's nice, Mom," he said.
"She's very confident." I smiled when I heard that. Confidence is a good thing, I thought. The first time I met Claire, she wore a beautiful dress. She had perfect hair, perfect posture. She shook my hand instead of hugging me. "It's nice to finally meet you," she said politely. Her smile did not reach her eyes. I told myself not to judge. People show warmth in different ways. Claire was organized. She liked plans, schedules. I was the opposite. I cooked without recipes. I believed in small moments. At first, we stayed respectful, careful. When they got engaged, I was happy, truly happy. I helped plan the wedding when asked. I did not interfere. I paid for what I could afford, nothing more. I believed that staying quiet was the best way to show love. The wedding day was beautiful. Claire looked stunning. Daniel looked nervous. When I hugged him before the ceremony, he whispered, "Thank you for everything, Mom." I held on to that sentence for a long time. During the reception, I stayed at my table. I did not want to be in the way. I noticed Claire's family laughing loudly. They filled the room. I smiled quietly. I told myself this is how it should be.
He has his own life now.
After the wedding, things changed slowly. Not all at once. Just enough to make me doubt myself. At first, it was small things. My calls were returned later. Sometimes not at all. When I visited, Claire was always busy, always tired. Daniel stopped asking me for advice. I told myself it was normal. New marriage, new routines. I did not want to be the kind of mother who holds on too tightly. But then came the comments. Small, quiet comments. "You don't need to come over so often," Claire said once, smiling. "We're trying to build our own space." I nodded. "Of course," I said. Another time, she said, "Daniel prefers things done a certain way now." I noticed she always spoke for him. Daniel stayed quiet. I started feeling like a guest in a place that once felt like home. I began bringing less food, staying for shorter visits. I watched my words carefully. Still, something felt wrong. The hardest part was Daniel's silence. He never defended me, but he never attacked me either. He just disappeared behind her decisions. When I asked him directly if I had done something wrong, he said, "No, Mom. Everything is fine." But it was not fine. I could feel it. At night, I replayed conversations in my head. Did I say something wrong? Did I look at her the wrong way? I blamed myself. That is what mothers do. The day she told me I was no longer family did not start with anger. It started like any other visit. I brought soup. Daniel had always loved my soup. Claire barely looked at it. Later that afternoon, Daniel left the room to take a call. That was when she turned to me.
Her voice was calm.
Almost kind. And then she said the words that changed everything. Claire did not raise her voice when she spoke to me that day. She sat across from me at the kitchen table. Her hands were folded neatly. Her tone was soft. "I think it's better if you don't come here anymore," she said. "We are a family now, and we need space." I remember blinking once, slowly. The word family stayed in the air between us. Heavy.
Sharp.
I waited for Daniel to come back into the room. I waited for him to say something. Anything. But the hallway stayed quiet. I nodded, because I did not know what else to do.
"I understand," I said.
I did not understand. Not really. I left that day without asking questions. That might sound strange to you, but sometimes when you are caught off guard, words disappear. I walked home slowly. The sky finally opened up, and rain began to fall. I did not use my umbrella. The cold felt honest. When I reached my house, I sat in the dark for a long time.
I did not turn on the lights.
I did not take off my coat. I replayed her words again and again. "We are a family now." I asked myself quietly, what was I then? That night, Daniel did not call. He did not text. I told myself he needed time. I told myself many things. The next few days passed slowly. I went to work. I smiled at customers. I baked bread like I always did. But inside, I felt hollow. Every sound in my house felt louder than before. The refrigerator humming. The clock ticking. I waited for the phone to ring. It did not. One evening, I decided to call Daniel. He answered after a few rings.
"Hi, Mom," he said.
His voice sounded normal. Too normal. I took a deep breath. "Did Claire talk to you about our conversation?" I asked gently. There was a pause. "Yes," he said. Another pause. "I think she's just trying to protect our marriage." That was all. No apology. No explanation. I felt my throat tighten. "I was only trying to help," I said. "I know," he replied. "But things are different now." Different. That word again. After that call, I stopped reaching out as much. Not because I wanted to, but because I felt unwanted. I told myself that respecting their space was the loving thing to do. Weeks passed, then months. I heard about their lives through other people. A neighbor mentioned they bought new furniture. A cousin said they hosted a dinner. I was never invited. I was never told directly that I was excluded. I just faded out. It was not one big event that hurt the most. It was the small things. Daniel's birthday came. I sent a card and a gift. He texted a short thank you. Mother's Day came. There was no call. I told myself he was busy. I told myself many things. One afternoon, I ran into Claire at the grocery store. She smiled politely. "How are you?" she asked. "I'm fine," I said. She nodded. "We've been so busy," she said. "Life moves fast." "Yes," I replied. She wished me a good day and walked away. I stood there for a long time, holding a loaf of bread I did not remember picking up. At night, questions filled my mind. Had I crossed a line without knowing? Had I been too present? Too quiet? I thought about my own mother. She had lived far away. She never interfered. Maybe that was the right way. Maybe I had failed without realizing it. Sometimes I imagined what Claire might think of me. An old woman who could not let go. A reminder of Daniel's past. I wondered if my presence made her feel small. I never meant to. I watched Daniel's life continue without me. Social media showed smiling pictures,
Trips.
celebrations. I was not in any of them. I stopped looking after a while. It hurt too much. One day, I heard Daniel refer to Claire's mother as Mom in a passing comment. It was casual, natural. It should not have hurt, but it did. I realized then that my place had been quietly filled. No announcement, no discussion, just replacement. I decided to write a letter. Not an angry letter, not an accusing one, just an honest one. I told Daniel I missed him. I told him I respected his marriage. I told him I would step back if that made things easier. I did not blame anyone. I waited weeks for a reply. None came. As time passed, the distance became normal. People stopped asking about Daniel. They assumed we were not close. I let them assume. Explaining felt too painful. I learned how to be alone again. I took longer walks. I drank tea in the evenings. I talked to myself sometimes. I told myself I was strong. One winter evening, I got sick. Nothing serious, just a fever. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. For the first time, I wondered what would happen if something worse occurred. Who would sit by my side? Who would hold my hand? The thought scared me more than the illness. A few days later, my phone rang. It was Daniel.
My heart jumped.
"Mom," he said softly, "can we talk?"
I sat up slowly.
"Yes," I said. "I think we need to clear some things," he continued. My hands trembled. This call felt different. He sounded unsure, almost tired. That was when I knew something was coming. Something important. I held the phone close to my ear. For a moment, neither of us spoke. I could hear his breathing.
Slow.
Heavy. "Mom," Daniel said again. "I don't know where to start." I closed my eyes. "Take your time," I replied. There was a long pause. "I feel like I've been losing pieces of myself," he said quietly. Those words stayed with me. Daniel spoke slowly, choosing his words carefully. "Since the wedding, I've been trying to keep everyone happy," he said. "But I think I've been doing the opposite." I listened. I did not interrupt. "Claire feels like she has to protect our marriage," he continued. "She thinks outside voices create problems." I swallowed. "And you?" I asked softly. Another pause. "I stopped speaking up," he said. "I thought staying quiet would keep the peace." I felt a mix of relief and sadness. Relief that I was not imagining things. Sadness that my son felt trapped. I finally asked the question I had been carrying for months. "Did you know what she was going to say to me that day?" I asked. His silence answered before his words did. "Yes," he said. My heart sank. "She told me she wanted space," he continued. "I didn't think she meant it like that. But you let her say it." I replied gently. "Yes," he admitted. I took a deep breath. I did not cry. I did not raise my voice. I simply said, "That hurt more than you know." I told Daniel things I had never said before. "I felt like I was being erased," I said. "I felt like I stopped being your mother." My voice trembled, but I kept going. I blamed myself, I admitted. I wondered what I had done wrong. There was silence on the other end. Then I heard him exhale. "I didn't realize how deep it went," he said. That sentence mattered to me. It did not fix everything, but it mattered. Daniel did not speak badly about his wife. He never did, but he was honest. "She's afraid," he said. "She grew up watching conflict destroy her parents' marriage." I nodded, even though he could not see me. "She believes control equals safety," he added. I understood that more than I wanted to. Fear makes people do things that hurt others. For the first time, I stopped protecting everyone else. "I need you to hear this," I said calmly. "I respect your marriage, truly. But I am not a threat," I continued. "I am your mother." My voice was steady. "I don't need to be involved in everything," I said. "I just need to know I still matter." The line stayed quiet. Then he said something I had not heard in a long time. "I'm sorry, Mom." His apology was soft. It did not come with promises, but it was real. I should have spoken up, he said. I was afraid of causing tension. I nodded again.
Fear.
Always fear. I never wanted you to feel alone, he added. I closed my eyes. But I did, I replied. He did not argue. Then Daniel asked something unexpected. Would you be willing to talk to Claire again? He asked. I felt my stomach tighten. I don't want to fight, I said. I don't want to defend myself. I know, he replied. But I think things can't heal unless we're honest. I sat with that thought. Honesty requires courage. From everyone. I'll try, I said finally, but only if it stays calm. It will, he promised. After the call ended, I sat quietly. I thought about the years I had spent staying silent. I thought about how silence had not protected anyone. I felt tired, but I also felt lighter. That conversation did not solve everything, but it opened a door. A week later, Daniel asked me to come over. My hands shook as I knocked on the door. Claire opened it.
She looked surprised.
Then guarded. We sat in the living room. Daniel sat between us. No one spoke for a moment. Finally, Claire broke the silence. I didn't mean to hurt you, she said quietly. I just didn't know how to handle everything. I listened. I did not interrupt. Claire spoke about her fears, about losing control, about feeling judged. I felt like I had to protect my space, she said. I didn't realize I was pushing you out completely. Her voice cracked. I watched her carefully. For the first time, I saw her not as my enemy, but as a frightened woman. When it was my turn, I spoke slowly. I never wanted to replace anyone, I said. I never wanted to interfere. I just wanted to remain part of my son's life. My voice stayed calm. When you told me I wasn't family anymore, I continued. It felt like losing him while he was still alive. Claire looked down. I didn't understand what that meant to you, she whispered. Something shifted that day. Not forgiveness.
Not yet.
But understanding. Daniel reached for my hand. That small gesture meant everything. We did not make grand promises. We agreed on boundaries. On communication. Claire agreed not to speak for Daniel. Daniel agreed to speak up. And I agreed to step back when needed. It was not perfect,
but it was honest.
When I left that evening, I did not feel whole, but I felt seen. As I walked to my car, the air felt lighter. Not because everything was fixed, but because truth had finally been spoken. After that conversation, life did not suddenly become warm and easy. There were no big family dinners, no long phone calls. Instead, there were quiet days. Days where I waited. Days where I wondered what would come next. But something had changed. The silence no longer felt like rejection. It felt like space that needed time. A few days later, Daniel texted me. It was a simple message. Hope you're doing okay, Mom. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I smiled. I replied, I am. Thank you for checking in. It was not much, but it was something. A week later, Claire sent a message too. It surprised me. Daniel said you made soup the way he likes. Would you mind sharing the recipe? I read it twice. She was not asking for forgiveness. She was asking for connection. I sent her the recipe. We began finding a new rhythm. Short visits. Clear plans. I no longer dropped by unannounced. They no longer avoided me. When I visited, Claire made an effort to sit with me, to ask questions. Sometimes the conversations felt careful, sometimes a little stiff, but they were real. One afternoon, Daniel called. We're thinking of having dinner this Sunday, he said. Would you like to come? My heart skipped. Yes, I said calmly. I'd like that. When I hung up, I sat quietly for a moment. I did not want to get my hopes too high, but hope has a way of returning when you least expect it. Sunday evening arrived. I brought bread. Nothing fancy. Claire opened the door. She smiled.
A real smile this time.
Thank you for coming, she said. The table was set simply. We ate slowly. We talked about small things. The weather.
Work.
No heavy topics. And that was okay. At the end of the meal, Daniel stood up. He cleared the table and said, Mom, would you like some tea? He asked like he used to, like I belonged there. Yes, I said softly. Claire watched us. She did not interrupt. Forgiveness did not arrive all at once. It came in pieces, in shared glances, in quiet apologies. Claire never said the exact words. I was wrong. But her actions changed. She included me. She acknowledged me. That mattered more. One afternoon, Claire and I found ourselves alone. Daniel had stepped out. She looked at me and said quietly, I didn't realize how strong you had to be to raise him alone. I felt tears rise. Thank you, I replied. She nodded. I was afraid, she admitted. I thought love had limits. I understood that fear now. I learned something important during that time. My role had changed. I was no longer the center of Daniel's world. And that was okay. Love does not disappear when it changes shape. It just becomes quieter. We continued slowly. There were still awkward moments, still misunderstandings. But there was effort. And effort is where healing begins. I let go of the idea that things had to return to how they were. They never would. And that was not a failure. It was life. I stopped waiting to be invited to everything. I stopped measuring love by access. One evening, as I sat alone with my tea, I realized something. I was no longer carrying anger. I was no longer replaying words. I felt calm, not because everything was perfect, but because I had chosen peace. I began to see Claire differently, not as someone who took something from me, but as someone who was still learning how to love without fear. And I saw Daniel not as someone who failed me, but as a man learning how to balance loyalty. I felt grateful for small things. A message, a shared meal, a simple question. How are you feeling? These were the things that mattered now. When I look back now, I no longer feel that sharp pain in my chest. The memories are still there. The silence. The words that once felt like doors closing. But they do not control me anymore. Time did not erase what happened. It softened it. And softness, I have learned, is not weakness. I wish I had known earlier that love does not need to beg for space. I wish I had known that silence does not always mean peace. And I wish I had trusted my own worth more during those quiet months. But we learn these things only after walking through them. I still worry sometimes. That is the nature of being a mother. But the worry feels lighter now. I know my son loves me. He shows it differently than before. Quieter, more carefully, but it is there. Today, our relationship is not perfect. We do not speak every day. We do not share everything. But we are connected. We acknowledge each other. We respect boundaries. And most importantly, we speak honestly. Forgiveness did not mean forgetting the pain. It meant choosing not to live inside it. It meant understanding fear without accepting harm. And it meant allowing people to grow, even when they hurt you. I learned that my value does not come from my role in someone else's life. I am more than a mother, more than a guest, more than a memory. I am a person who deserves kindness and respect. If you are listening to this and you feel like you no longer belong where you once did, I want you to hear this. You are not invisible. Your love mattered. Your presence mattered. Even if it changed, letting go does not always mean losing. Sometimes it means trusting love to survive in a new form. Sometimes it means stepping back so others can step forward. And sometimes it means choosing peace over control. I keep my door open, not just to my son and daughter-in-law, but to life,
to growth,
to forgiveness, to new chapters one never expected. I no longer measure my place in my son's life by how often I am invited. I measure it by the quiet respect we now share, by the honesty, by the effort, and that is enough. Family is not always about closeness. Sometimes it is about understanding distance. And love, real love, does not disappear when it is tested. It learns how to breathe differently.